This video was made possible by EA Game Changers. Thank you so much for flying me out to Berlin so I could capture this footage early. Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Bankrupt Fulham. Now, in the last episode, we got ourselves a victory at home against Bournemouth. Our first win in 14 games. I guess you could say I was very happy with myself, but the aim now was to continue that form onwards. The next game away against Huddersfield, we kind of did that. A towering header by Matthew Rojas from the Keith Feeney corner put Fulham ahead, and I was like, yes, we're gonna turn this season around. I mean, if we did keep that lead, maybe we could have survived, who knows, but the fact is we didn't. Huddersfield came back, got themselves an equaliser halfway through the second half. It's an excellent little finish off the post, nothing the keeper can do there, and from that point on it was an absolute disaster. Like, I'd start every single game as if we were going to get a point, and it just didn't happen. You probably know what's coming next, so I'm going to fill this time up with goals that I conceded, whilst trying to answer some questions from episode 2, and also talking a bit more in depth about this AI. We'll start off with Cell Dweller Fangirl. FIFA 18 looks good. Well, I can see both sides to this argument. If you're talking about features, yes, I'm with you. It's the same career mode as FIFA 18, and I didn't really need to say anything, did I? The first 2 episodes, I've tried to keep it as dignified as possible, but you guys can see through the smoke and mirrors. On the other hand, I've seen comments saying, oh, this is FIFA 18 gameplay. I've been conned into watching this, thinking that it was FIFA 19. Now, we're getting to the end of a console's life cycle, so I don't really know what you expect for them to improve graphically. Features, yeah, they can improve on massively, but graphically, you're pushing the limits, mate. This has happened with the last generation of consoles, with the original Xbox and the PS2, maybe with a change in colour palettes, but honestly, if you were changing the colour palettes of FIFA 18, you're gonna make the game look worse, because FIFA 18's colour palettes were actually really nice. Yeah, FIFA 19 looks the same. It sure doesn't play the same, but it does look the same. And some of that is not too much of an issue. Niren's really into big cocks by the looks of things. Shirts to be untucked shortly, I presume? No. So all Youth Academy players now get the black and white default EA boots, which is really sad, to be honest, because I love the fact that you used to get random boots on your play, even ones that you couldn't select normally, but they've got rid of that. Technically makes the game worse, so now I need to edit the pros to change the boots, which is fine at home. My level is like 103, 104. In this event, though, they were brand new accounts. I was at level 1 at the start, and the edit player function had to be unlocked at level 15. I was going to get nowhere near level 15. So it was totally out the question. No one took shirts, no change of boots. The only good news is the boots kind of match the shirt and shorts. That's it. That's all that it was good for. Allianz Arena looks incredible with the Champions League theme. Yes, the graphic overlay really does look great, but the kind of blue tint that you get in European Nights was already in FIFA 18. Go back, look at it. It was already there. Europa League had a kind of purplish, brownish tint to every single match. Hamza has said, please don't shoot again. Right. I don't know how to reply to that, Hamza, to be honest, because there is a big hole in what you've just said. CZV24 has commented, does this mean that you are stopping the YSL? Absolutely not. We got one more episode of Youth Squad Legends Lincoln City. And I think just for the memes, it's probably going to drop a little bit later than everybody expects. Maybe the first episode of the Macclesfield Youth Squad Legends gets dropped before Lincoln City. But we will be finishing the series. I can't go 80 odd episodes without finally lifting the European Cup, or at least going to a final. Harvey Hall deserves his final send-off. Why do you have a notebook, Cutsy? I don't know which notebook you're talking about, but I will answer both. So I had to take my laptop over to Germany to capture the footage, and I had a paper notebook to write down all the events from each game, so when I got back home, I could look at the notebook and see when the key moments were in every single match. So that's all the comments that I picked out from episode 2. Now we talk about ultimate difficulty. There is no doubt in my mind that we are going in the right direction. FIFA 19's ultimate difficulty is, like you'd expect, better than FIFA 18's legendary difficulty. However, it goes further than that, because when you go onto the PC version of FIFA 18, you can tamper with the game and get ultimate difficulty onto career mode. FIFA 19 ultimate difficulty is even better than that. So there's a massive thumbs up there. Is it going to be the answer to all our problems? Last couple of years I've released slider setups to make the game harder, and I think the slider setups will still be around, but they probably will be less harsh on the user. But I'm just sitting here unsure that that is going to be the be-all and end-all of it. Maybe in a couple of months' time, when we actually understand and learn this AI more, it might be just as easy. Like when I started playing FIFA 18, the AI wasn't as easy as when I finished playing FIFA 18. Couple of factors in that. I think patching the game made the AI worse. So many people at that capture event were pleading the community managers just to keep this game as it is. Stay easy on the patches, try and not tamper with the gameplay, and that's speaking volumes to me. Second factor is that you get used to how the AI play, and therefore you defend in different ways, you attack in different ways. The positive thing that I've seen from this difficulty that I haven't seen from difficulties in the past is that there's so much variation, you don't really know what they're going to do next. One time they'll do a quick 1-2, they'll shoot from 20 yards, they'll make this killer cross, and it's all very difficult to defend. If I was invited to the capture event, the early capture event for FIFA 18, would I have learnt something about that AI? Yes, because really early on in the life cycle of that game, I put out a slider setup. This game, however, I'm not too sure. Yes, there might be some sliders involved at some point, but at this moment in time, with the experience that I've had with the game, it could give me some real big shocks when I'm playing. Let me try and go through some areas that I think the AI have definitely improved in. Shooting is the most noticeable. You've already seen it in this series that they are scoring bangers from 25-30 yards. All in all, when they are faced with the shooting opportunity, they are better at getting it on target. The marking, I think, has been decreased. They are more structured in defence, so they might give you more freedom in the middle of the park. Obviously, it depends on what team you're playing. Definitely against teams like Liverpool, you feel a different sort of pressure, but normally they give you a good amount of time in the middle to try and build up some attacks. Once you get into that final third, then the pressure starts to amount. So many times I tried to spin my striker Kieran Crow so he's facing the opposition's net and he's just met with like a wall of defenders. Passing, I think, is relatively the same. There's a lot more crossing involved. Goalkeepers pretty much the same. I think they've got more of an advantage this year because of the time shooting that you have to do, so occasionally your shots just go nowhere near. FIFA 19 is like a balancing act. They've tried to add certain things. I like the implementation of strength in midfield, like there's players that do dominate in that position, but for the time shooting, I think it's slightly off. Like, you get it into the green, you're gonna score some wonderful goals, but if you're just holding circle, a one-press circle, you should be able to still hit the ball with some fearsome power, and sometimes it just doesn't do that. It does like this kind of awful chip finesse shot. So maybe in the future they can patch that to give you a lace shot just by holding circle one time. If you do choose to hold the circle button instead of trying to do time shots, then you should on the whole expect your shots to be less accurate. That keeps us all nice and balanced. They tried to increase the skill gap, they have done that with the time shooting. The only issue is that holding circle usually doesn't give you a lace shot, and that's going to alienate the casual players, the players that don't really want to learn time shooting. It's dropped us into this really strange situation, because modifier shots, so your chip shot, your low driven shot, and the one that I'm going to talk about, your eccentric shots by holding the L2 button, are not affected by time shooting. So we got to a point where holding L2 and circle for like a scorpion kick or an overhead is going to be more effective than just holding circle alone. That to me makes no sense. That was pretty painless, wasn't it? After 24 games, the Fulham board decided they had enough of Harvey Hall, and we were sacked as Fulham manager. I know, this series has been an anticlimax so far. You see, I still had well over a day left at the capture event, and I knew for a fact that I wasn't done here. This is where the normal Harvey Hull steps down, and in comes Harvey Hull version 2.0, a robot programmed to manage correctly. Eagle-eyed amongst you might realise that I have missed a couple of games out. Very well done to you, 3 games, all in the Champions League. Simmed them all because I was already going out of the competition. Right at the end, after all the other scorelines had gone as expected. What is this? Fulham 2, Bayern Munich 1. What? How? Why? And with that, I'm gonna end this episode. Sorry it's been such a strange one, but I had to fill in the gaps instead of commentating over every single loss. You don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it. But in the next video, we will have a team ready to challenge the Premier League. What will we do then? This has been Cutsy. Thank you for watching this episode of Bankrupt Fulham. If you've enjoyed it, then please give the video a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and press the bell icon for mobile notifications. See you next time.